Hello, everyone! Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Broiler Chicken Show! Back. Brian feel a little delicate this morning. You probably hear it in his voice. Had a fantastic time out socializing. Actually, we better make sure this YouTube. Brian feel a little delicate this morning. You probably hear it. You can totally hear it in my voice. But anyway, good to see YouTube is YouTubing, and looks like streams are streaming. I don't know whether we have anybody over there on YouTube page just yet, but good to see we're live. Let's see. Where do I begin today? Hey, there's Nathaniel. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. MKBCS. All right. Anyway, good to see people over on YouTube. Looks like we got a fairly full room here in the house on Google Hangout. Lots of cool names and faces. What I love about TRI, one thing is so cool is chicken's missing some feathers. I had a great night last night. Got together. Of course, anytime you get together with Andrew, it's always trouble. But let's see. I think I posted pictures in the lounge. But we had a really special treat. I got together with a friend from Level 1 program who popped into town last night, Ilian, and had a really nice dinner, the three of us. And Andrew and I, of course, in typical fashion, there we are. Brian looks pretty rough, eh? So, but anytime we get together with this guy here, it's always going to be trouble. But anyway, we eventually made it home. We found the car. Dude, where's my car? I think we spent about an hour stumbling around downtown looking for Andrew's car last night, which was hilarious, but super fun. You can probably, like I said, hear it in my voice. I'm a little delicate here this morning, but you know what I noticed? For whatever it's worth, I don't know. Feels like maybe if we're really, really lucky, maybe we've shifted here a bit psychologically. Obviously, the political event down in the United States of America was some sort of big apex towards emotions. You can kind of see it in the market. If anything, I think Bitcoin is a beautiful proxy of the anxiety of humans. So I think it's probably going to become like a benchmark going forward. Also, too, I think it was a pretty good example of buy the rumor, sell the news. So really great learning material there. Actually, I spent some time this morning just sort of disconnecting from the crazy stuff. And actually, it was a lot of fun. I sure hope we can go back to these days. Because I remember living in these days. Well, not these days in particular. But, it's interesting. Like, the Beatles actually started getting going in earnest. Actually, through that respective greed cycle peak. Early 60s. So, it's kind of remind us of what the days to come are going to be like. We won't be so wrapped up in this sort of negativity and ankle biting. We will go back to a world like this. I was so pleased. This was so beautiful just listening to this. I mean, obviously, Paul McCartney's going to capture a crowd. But, they just popped into a pub and just did, just a pop-up concert. People just listening to music. Not so worried about money and stuff. And I really would like to see us, as humans, go back to this kind of world. So, unfortunately, and, actually, ironically enough, that's all about, kind of like what I just showed you with that picture of Andrew and Ilya. Just let's think about each other. How come... Actually, before I get a little verklempt, I get a little choked up, because maybe I put a little bit too much pressure on myself. I really would like all of you that watch this, and then, there's probably hundreds of people that watch this, but I really would like you at the end of this to go, holy shit, I actually got some value out of that. The guy didn't ask me for anything, didn't shill anything. It was edutainment. Maybe he made me laugh. I don't know. But that's sort of what I'm thinking right now is how can I make a positive difference in your guys' life? So I don't know whether there's really a hell of a lot that I can add to the equation today. Obviously, we're right in the middle of a massive event here, massive uncertainty, just massive everything's, right? So it's not like you can just go, this is an easy trend, right? And bang, hit that, bang, bang, bang. Right now, if anything, we got to be sort of like, okay, let's just calm our, cool the jets. Let's really focus on technical setups here. Find your good fundamental ideas. Totally awesome. In fact, I love just sitting and listening to the crypto community. I mean, you people within crypto, you're smart motherfuckers. The only problem is sometimes, and really, I don't think anybody teaches anybody this stuff anywhere. Should be taught in like grade school. But what does an actual goodbye on like a technical basis actually look like? Ironically enough, we often say a goodbye is a goodbye is a goodbye. It'll be plain as day to technicians from price action to momentum to levels. I mean, it will just be obvious that a goodbye is a goodbye is a goodbye. What are you guys going on over there at YouTube? You guys in the lounge, are you guys hearing me okay? Let's see what microphone they have me hooked up here as. People in the lounge seem to be pretty happy here. People over on YouTube aren't very happy. Not quite sure what to make of that. Microphone, I'm using the blue snowball. That's the one right in front of me right here. Hello, everybody. So that seems to be working. Steve says, sounds good. Alex says, Google Hangouts good. Mark says, hey, Mark! Hey, I haven't seen you in forever, buddy. How's your brother? I remember stumbling around with your brother at like fucking 3 a.m. through London looking for bars still open. Oh, that was great. Those are good days. Brian, I am very happy. Bit better now, although a bit metallic. Quite sure what to do. Oh, good. Good to hear that you're doing good, Mark. Awesome. I think about you guys lots. Your brother. Oh, he's a character. I miss those guys. And actually, what a sad commentary. Did you guys actually believe when I met you guys? Actually, Mark, I didn't get to meet you. But when I went over to Europe, I was going around there going, geez, these days of fluffy fluff, they're not going to last. Something's got to happen here. This whole fucking thing's got to reset. And now, like, you think back, like, geez, those meetups and stuff like that, we were so fortunate to get that stuff done when we did. Anyway, I'm sure there's probably a lot of people watching this video going, hey, are you actually going to say something here of value? So, let's get to work. What the hell should we talk about today? We do run a education program on the site, and the biggest and toughest hurdle to get over. I do see OBS is giving me little funny little messages here, so there might be an issue with my OBS here. In fact, actually, I haven't updated this in a bit. I'm so negligent on this. So sorry over there on YouTube if it's crappy. I'll make a point to fix it after I'm done with Liam today. And also too, you may find that my voice is a bit different, and it's just because I'm hungover like a son of a bitch right now. So no empathy for Brian. No empathy asked for. It's of my own doing. Hey, is that my Crypto Carlos? There's another one of my buddies from London. God, it was great. Remember stumbling around the docks? Actually, didn't we have Tom Collins's on the? I think that was. I don't know whether that's my Crypto Carlos or not, but Anyway, yeah, okay, it's cool. Yeah, that was you. All right, cool. Actually, yeah, you were there with, what is it, Tom, right? Tom Moran? I think that's Mark's brother's name. I can't remember. Thomas? So you were there too. Yeah, yeah. So look at that. Holy memory. Ooh, cool. Okay. I was saying earlier, we run an education program on our site. I think it's a really good basis for people to go from, and keep in mind, most people, and I put this little page together to, I'll be sort of sharing it once it's polished. But most people, when they look at the market, they look at, this is the market, right? Just a whole bunch of numbers, some green, some red. What's a buy and what's a sell? Ooh, look at this. Berkshire's up $1.40, whatever. And whether it's crypto, it's the same thing in crypto, right? Where's our crypto screen? Where are we here? It's one of these darn pages. There we are. So, a lot of people, especially this is even more misleading, right? A lot of people, they'll load up a site like this and they'll go, okay, so what should I buy? Ooh, ETH, up 5.11%. In fact, I remember there's one gentleman, and I sure hope to God he stuck through this, because he came to us in 2017 from Germany, and frankly speaking, I think he could be a total celebrity within the crypto space if he wanted to be. And he reminded me totally of that, and I don't even know if we even have any references to that. Remember? Does anybody remember, do you want to buy some shit coins? Where is Mr. Do you want to buy some shit coins these days? I hope he's doing okay. But, he would sit there. Does anybody remember what his name was? I want to say... Oh, he had a funny name. Remember he was like Norwegian. But anyway, point being that he would just sit there in his video and he'd go, ooh, ETH up 5%. Ooh, NEO up 2%. What should I buy? Ooh, Link up 0.1%. So that's, if you approach your investing, and I got to, invest my money for my retirement, or, I want to get in on crypto, that's an awfully tough way to start this off. And actually what's worse, I find right now, is I'm starting to see these kind of posts. And you love these people. They're totally awesome. I won't play it because, Bitcoin or, YouTube and get into trouble. But, headlines like this. Why Bitcoin now? The perfect conditions for Bitcoin. Every time we go through one of these cycle peaks, and it doesn't matter what asset it is, what ends up happening is, of course, hey, there you go, thanks, Carlos. I did. Yeah, well, and what's his name? Just for the record, because I always like that guy. There's no way I was going to remember that. Ken? I don't know. Anyway, this was the gentleman I was referring to. He's hilarious. And our German, oh my goodness, have I forgotten his name? Anyway, he hasn't been on the site in a while. I always figured that he could be totally that character if he wanted it, but oh well. He's a tattoo artist, I think, in Germany. Actually, we still have a few other Germans. Mr. Tesla, you're still on the site. I hope you're still in contact with him. He's a really nice guy. Anyway, point I'm trying to make, God, Brian's hungover. It's going to be tough. Is at the end of these moves, you always get this rhetoric. Always. Oh, now's the time to get in. It's never been a better time. Remember BitConnect and all that nonsense? Totals, like prime the pump, what is it that we're actually buying here? Don't ask. It's like the politician last March. Shouldn't we debate the fiscal merits of this stimulus? Shut up! Does that really make for good investments? I don't know. It's getting dangerous territory, folks. I had said recently, and I still totally believe this, that I guess we'll go back to our chart here. We're now, of course, in face rib mode, and we're rocking and rolling. My hunch is probably the end of this move will just be nothing more than a replication of this move on this side. That's usually what happens with these patterns. I've seen this pattern so many times in my career, and yet I've never seen actually anybody label this. What the hell do you call this? People on the site and stuff were coming up with funny Beamish nicknames and stuff, but I've seen this so many times, and it's actually a very symmetrical move. It's very normal. So I don't know whether it's really in our best interest. If you are an investor and you're trying to find value, I mean, do you really want to come in all the way up here? I mean, we know that, things like cost of production. I did find this fascinating that the cost of production actually has been falling on something like Bitcoin recently. I have a feeling there was something to do with floods in China and a bunch of miners went offline. So the difficulty rate, I guess, fell due to that. I don't know the particulars around that. But I do find it fascinating that cost of production has now come back down into our green boxes, i.e. rational investments. The only problem with, trying to be a rational investor, trying to buy value is 9 times out of 10 when you're buying value, you're actually buying when other people have no interest whatsoever. And actually it's, ironically enough, we make the argument that, this was the time to be interested in investing in Bitcoin, especially on this beautiful W. And I remember Da Vinci and we did a video on YouTube. Not that many people were really interested. I mean, just the hardcore crypto people, but not the people in the public. And at this point, I can absolutely guarantee you that these people, I don't know what the hell did I do with it. Oh, darn. Just had it up here. It's over here. These kind of people were not saying go and buy Bitcoin. Well, maybe he was. But these kind of people, they usually come in when they've already gotten sort of validation. I think it actually quite often it's very fundamental talk. Kind of things like, well, they're doing the big currency reset, or, Bitcoin was going to be adopted by the public, right? Or maybe some, what I find kind of interesting here is the United States of America, the government, USA Inc., just took possession of something like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Do you think they're going to want to monetize that? I think so. So, that's supply. That's not demand. So, just be careful here, everybody. Please. I mean, it's your money. You do with it as you please, obviously. The trend is still pointing up here, but are you buying value? I don't know. Some levels I'm kind of thinking that we're probably going to see some resistance come in. There's my funny little pattern that I've seen happen. I have no idea what the name of it is, but I've seen it at least 100 times in my career. So usually what ends up happening after this is we have to do some consolidating, kind of like this kind of stuff, and then tell us where we're going to go next. If anything, this is a beautiful analogy. Don't chase, 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 don't chase. And actually, for all the market timers, and I even left this on the chart, I think you got your beautiful entry signal there. This was a DAVO that our little platform that Seward has put together. And that I just absolutely love. This guy's gonna make this guy and the platform's gonna make TRI stinking rich. But here was that Davos signal that I was barking about weeks ago, and I mean, you tell me. The proof of the pudding's in the eating. And you can see the little W's. You see where the arrow is. You can see the consolidation. You can see the W's, all the foggy, boggy levels that we love to talk about. And woohoo, there she goes. The only problem is you turn on your TV. Yeah, they're talking about Bitcoin, like this Chinese lady, right? Oh, now's the time to get into Bitcoin. Is it? I mean, from a technician's perspective, is it really? I mean, are we really professionals here? Come on. What bother, and I actually build tools specifically to keep me out of getting sucked into this. Right? I build tools specifically to prevent me from, oh, this lady says Bitcoin's a good investment. Maybe I should go and invest. And that's this funny little Willy indicator that I built. And it's just level oneers, you'll be taught this in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks time. You're working through volume momentum analysis. This coming week will be part 1 of price momentum analysis, MACD. Next following week will be second part of price momentum analysis, overbought, oversold. So that's coming down the pike. But the really simple message here is when this moving average gets above this overbought, oversold line here, in this case Williams percentage R, it's a bastardization of the stochastic oscillator. It's based on the premise of linear regression, but that's irrelevant. Don't worry about that right now. The simple fact of the matter here is when Willy's moving average, this is a modified Williams percentage R, gets into the overbought zone, I just have to have the professionalism, the patience, the discipline to say, look at, Bitcoin may be the next best thing since sliced bread, but this is not a good time to be going in there and risking your hard-earned money. And the worst part about this is that actually the reason why I built this indicator was I wanted some sort of tool when I was a broker to just look at the chart and go, because remember, the public, right? They see Mr. Finkel's screen, right? And they see this. They don't know what the fuck they're buying. Oh, this XTC. All right, that one looks good. Let's go buy that. Chico Crypto says it's a good coin. So, I just, as a broker, I had to build tools that, hey, what our tools are saying, just cool your jazz. So that's, the bigger picture. The market's ridiculously overbought. And that's okay. Markets do that. Markets go up. Markets go down. I'm not making a vote on Bitcoin, whether I like it or not. I like Bitcoin. I think it's the future. But that doesn't necessarily mean that if you go and buy Bitcoin here at $15,536, it's going to go straight up. The worst part about this right now is actually if as a risk taker, I have to look at this and go, well, technically, where is support? And believe it or not, for an old timer like me, support is all the way down here, right, against these lows, where our original buy signal actually came in there a week or two ago. That's a hell of a lot of risk for a guy like me. That's scary. And the worst part about it, I don't know when the hell the damn thing tops out. It's obviously there's going to be a lot of volatility injected. I think what sort of happened with the political situation is the media outlets, the sort of default, they just needed to pick a winner. They just needed to have an answer. They just needed to have a total. So they did up the totals, whether it was nefarious or not, that's here nor there. I've seen this happen in U.S. politics before. They just have to declare some sort of winner. So I think that's what's happened here. And, of course, the media jumps all over it. And then, of course, the loser's side. You can't trust the media, fake news, blah, 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 blah. But I think what's going to happen here is, I got the impression watching shit yesterday, at one point Trump just got up and he goes, fuck it. And he just turns the TV off and he goes and runs off to the golf course. And he just plays a round or two of golf. He's like, fuck it, I've had enough of this. So I get the impression now that first thing Monday morning when businesses open up, right, government offices, all that, there's going to be just a whole shitload of lawsuits and recount requests and shit that are going to be filed by Mr. Trump. So I don't think this is over by a long shot. And, of course, the right wing are rather motivated right now to find reasons to scream corruption and, rigging and all that shit. So that's what I think is probably going to happen over the next week. is you're going to hear about all these various different stories of different interpretations of how this vote count has come out, which means, the uncertainty in the air is not over yet. And interestingly enough, as we sort of headed into the weekend with regard to the corn, I think we started hitting a lot of levels, things like Willie Stupid, divergences starting to form, volume divergence. What was really interesting was on this candle right here. If this was really a rip-roaring bull, we should have seen more buyers pour in, more buyers, but we didn't. On this push up here, right, we saw 32,000 coins. Then on this push up here, we saw 31,000, just underneath 32. Now, I mean, it's so close. If this is a bull, why didn't you just go blast up? Why isn't this like 60,000, 100,000 coins? I mean, come on. If you're a bull, fucking rock and roll. So I get the impression that we were kind of running out of gas up here. That was interesting. It's shocking. And, is it a, chicken and egg kind of thing? I don't know. But, I'm a big fan of WD Gann. There are a lot of people on the in trading who like to follow WD Gann. And so as we were screaming up into those levels, you can see here's where the volume divergence started to form. So do you think maybe some professional bulls in the market we hit these level? And the professionals go, you know what, I just want to back off here. I think that's exactly what happened. And also, too, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was Friday as well, wasn't it? So Friday was the 6th. So they basically ramped it right up into that Friday event. Sort of like buy the rumor, then the news came out, knee-jerk reaction, sell the news. And incredible. I mean, how the fuck do you predict this stuff? Excuse my French, but it's just so staggering that you just sit there and go, I can't believe this. But in essence, if anybody was a Gann fan, they got just given gift levels here. Absolutely stunning. And I also heard other people on the site and stuff saying, and Twitter feeds and stuff, that this is actually a pretty normal pullback. I think it hit Mountain Man perfectly on the nose. Oh, just missed it by a whisker here. So I guess, if anything, the fact that it was a 50% retracement and it started to move up, that should actually make Mr. Gann even happier. He should love that. So this is probably also a good example. You've probably heard me. If you don't know this, write it down. Everybody should have their journals out while you're watching away here, because I just drop these things every once in a while. We had this one gentleman, about 4 or 5 months ago. He actually posted all of his notes from watching these videos, and it's literally like a whole course. Anyway, there's an old expression in the market that just simply goes, what was once resistance becomes support, and then vice versa. If the market breaks through that level, what once was support can become resistance. And it goes back and forth, and this is such a beautiful illustration of this. So again, angles that act as resistance, market breaks through, they turn into support. You can see we sort of had to bang away through our teal. Remember we were going on about that. What was our face rip market going to look like? So we worked our way back up. Okay, finally we want to go. Bang! Where does it go? Straight to the next Gann angle. And then, in typical fashion, the pullback, what once was resistance, now becomes support. And actually, probably a pretty good illustration. I think if ever market's going to smile at you, what should you be thinking? So you can kind of see now, if we do actually go and NM out here, big old smile, basically lose that level, it will mean that Gann angle turns into probably resistance again. So you can kind of see the future playing itself out. What I would say now, remember, don't chase. Remember all this kind of crap. You got to wait for the consolidation. Remember these kind of pullbacks. Don't chase up here. You're going to get punched in the nose. Bang. Don't chase up here. You're going to get punched in the nose. Bang. So that's basically exactly what that was. Don't chase up here. You're going to get punched in the nose. Bang. I suppose if you're thinking trend continuation, a guy like me, I like to see 3 higher lows to sort of tell me that the consolidation is done, kind of. And actually, we kind of did this all through here. What's the definition of a bull market? Well, it's higher highs and higher lows. So we got one low here now off of this big run. My hunch is probably going to get another test of that level, then maybe another test of that level, something like that. And this carves out a big old triangle just exactly like this. And then we ask whether we're ready to take a run up top. If someone on the street was asking me, wait, where do you think Bitcoin wants to go? I've been thinking for a while. And it's just purely opinion. I mean, remember, nobody really knows what the fuck's going to happen in the future. I do like the idea that this Gartley pattern has been sort of working away now for the past couple years. That's up around 16.5 or so. And then if we go back to that chart I was just on a second ago, 8 to 1 angles are actually, again, if you don't know this, write it down. 8 to 1 angles and 1 to 8 angles are kind of like the trader's angle. They love 8 to 1s. And the interesting thing here, of course, is if we go back and look, right, that is really this whole correction. Everything that you see on the screen here is just nothing more than a reaction of this move here. So, I mean, it sounds kind of weird, eh? All of this, everything that you see here is all nothing more than just a reaction. It's like, here's the big move, and holy shit, I mean, what, from like 1,000 up to 20,000? That's a pretty damn big move. So, market has to take some time to digest that, kind of like what we were just doing there, 3 higher lows. Well, this is the same principle. It's just off a much, much bigger perspective. So, if that's the case, then, do I have a weekly chart here? Where's the best way to show this to you? Yeah, I guess this, weekly, right? I mean, the irony of it all is that, you can make the argument back off of these bottoms. And I remember when this happened. Down here. Boop, boop, boop. Do you have the balls to come in and just buy that breakout level? That's $320 or so. Everybody's going, oh man, I wish I'd bought that. And you even got a beautiful Wyckoff check there too. And I remember that was a perfect Mountain Man tag. That was like the trade right there. But anyway, according to this, right? So that's about $350, and the bottom there is $150. You had to risk 50% of your capital on that trade. That's pretty big risk. 50% of my money? Shit. So, the little, fine-tuned timers, of course, they see that cute little W. They probably took a shot off that W. So they're all sneaking in down here. But I think the higher time frame investors, that's probably what this is, right? Now that we have sort of weekly and maybe even monthly W's, now I can go in and invest, especially when you get that Wyckoff check off a Mountain Man level. And actually, for the next year or so, this is actually exactly what I think our space is going to be like. I think there's going to be tons of people that are like, oh, if Bitcoin could come down to 5,000, I'd so buy it. Oh, if Ethereum could come down to $100 and $200, oh my God, I'd so buy it. And it just never does. And everybody sits there going, oh, I'm waiting for that dump. Where's that dump, Beamer? She said that dump was going to come, and it just doesn't come in, the motherfuckers. And then, woohoo, here we go. That's, okay, if you're going to ask me what I think our future is, I think that's our future. In fact, actually, I have a cool chart here. Yeah. So this is Ethereum now, and this is Bitcoin that last cycle. I mean, you guys tell me, does that kind of looks kind of the same? Yeah, it looks pretty damn similar to me. Actually, I'm going to, actually, I still got some coffee here. Let that settle in a little bit. So I tell you, I mean, I've been super bullish at crypto for a while now. We're loaded up, and we've paid all our taxes, damn it! So you can't say we haven't paid our taxes and done our civic duty. And, TRI is long a lot of crypto. So if this is our future, I'm more than happy with that. If it has to take a year or two and just sort of bump around in this range, maybe this is a low of maybe 10 G's and this is a high of 15 G's, something like that, wouldn't surprise me. Pretty typical. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make here right now is I hope you all can see this. It's tough to see. Where are we? Oh, actually, it's a nice weekly chart. I mean, this is a big fucking W. Huge. I don't think anybody's going to make the case that Bitcoin's going away anytime soon. That thing's in there and it's solid. We often talk about candle body lows for trade location. And frankly speaking, when the public is panicking and the public isn't interested in stuff, if we do get dumps down into that area, that to me looks like an insanely cool buy level. So that, and interestingly enough, back to our sort of this conversation, I'm quite curious why these costs of productions are actually falling here. I mean, ironically enough, in that kind of image, what this is actually saying to me is I should go into the business of mining. Don't go buy Bitcoins here. Go and fucking buy some mining rigs and just start mining. I mean, look at that profit differential. Let's say, I mean, even at the S17 level, that's better than a 2-to-1. Why buy Bitcoin here? Just go fucking buy some mining rigs. And you got a 2-to-1. The only problem, of course, is that's exactly what's going to happen. People are going to look at this and they're going to go, well, fuck, I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. I'll go into the mining business. So this starts to ramp up. The demand for Bitcoin in the open marketplace starts to fall off. Remember, who's buying right now? People that not really understand the underlying fundamentals of the business. Just, the starry-eyed, beautiful, top-down, FA, fiat currency sucks kind of conversation. But they're not really coming in and buying value. So I can actually, ironically enough, they always say, what is the cure for high prices? Actually, this will give everybody on YouTube an opportunity to interact. And, if you haven't heard this before, write it down. Who can tell me what is the absolute best cure for high prices? No. The answer, of course, is stunningly simple. You're all going to go, oh, geez. I mean, you guys are probably overthinking this. What is the best cure for high prices? Especially on a commodity. Excellent, Ed. Ed got it. Way to go. And really, our conversation here is, well, and then there's the bottle of tequila wrote. Ed's the only one who wrote it. I mean, the classic commodity cliche. Every commodity broker says this. I think it's in the goddamn user's manual. The best cure for high prices is high prices. Especially if it's 1,000,000 miles away from the cost of production. Because what'll end up happening, just like I said, is people are going to see the high Bitcoin price. They're going to come in and they're going to go, oh, geez, I could make quite a bit of money getting into the Bitcoin mining business. They'll start up their mining operations. That brings more supply. And, of course, they're not going to be in the open market demanding. They're going to be supplying. And so, as a result, down go prices. I mean, this is it. The perfect example was crude oil ramping it up above $100. Then all of a sudden you had like crazy Canadians saying, we got a whole bunch of oil all locked up in these oil sands up here. That high price, that actually justifies us going and burning off the sand and sucking the oil out and sending it to market. And sure enough, now it turns out Canada's got more oil than Saudi Arabia ready to hit the market. But what's the one thing that will kill that supply? If prices collapse, then it's not economical to pull that oil out of the sand. So a really good example. I mean, it's just simple, pure economics 101. So, with the cost of production image like that, eventually, in my eyes, the market will work its way back down when all the euphoria. Probably, I would say that Bitcoin, I think I've said this before, I think it's a beautiful fear asset proxy. You just want to get the fuck out of the system. Don't take any chance on anything. I'm just going to go buy this Bitcoin thing, and I'm going to try and own it at or near where the miners actually mine the Bitcoin thing, because it seems like this thing's here to stay. There's quite a bit of capital invested in the infrastructure. I keep hearing it's the future, it's the future, it's the future. So why buy gold? Might as well just go buy some Bitcoins. The key here is, are you coming in and buying a little bit expensive? And I think right now, yeah, Bitcoin price is a little bit expensive. I suppose other sort of fundamental conversations here. I really like to follow this NVT study. Here's another graphic image. Doesn't necessarily call tops. And it's not going to tell you, oh, this is the time to sell. But it's definitely going to tell you, hey, you're not buying cheap here. This network's actually getting a little stressed out. And what I wouldn't be surprised is we're going to start hearing some, completely uninformed market participants are just going to simply come in. They're told to buy Bitcoins, and they don't understand this transaction backlog, the fees or gas to use these cryptocurrencies. They don't understand any of that. And they just want in. And so what ends up happening is the network gets completely stressed out. And that's a sign, just be careful. Remember, this is your hard-earned money. If you want to, you can play the sentiment game. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But I can tell you, most times sentiment players, if they're caught bag holding, they're screwed when the market breaks and price doesn't come back. Just think about any of you who bought Bitcoin through 2017. Same damn thing. I did not buy any Bitcoin at all through this whole run-up. Didn't touch the damn thing. In fact, actually, we were net sellers. I sold probably about 150 G's worth of this stuff. Where were we buyers? Well, we were buyers down here, which is a bit fortunate, but, that's here nor there. Anyway, so the point of the matter here is you can do with your money as you please. That's entirely up to you. Looking at a chart like this as a technician, there's no fucking way I can touch that. Now, one thing I will say here, if you have a massive amount of patience, and you actually can look at this from like a little old lady, Nanny Nibbles kind of perspective, well, I mean, a W is a W is a W. But if you go and buy here, you have to be very comfortable with taking this kind of risk. I mean, I don't have a problem if you're saying, well, Brian, that's a big honking W, and you see what happened the last time when it did these W's, and I had to take 50% risk on this trade to buy, but holy shit, I got rich. Okay. But if you're going to do that trade and you're going to come in here, you have to be completely comfortable with the market coming all the way back down against these lows. So that's the question here. And, as a licensed advisor, I could actually get sued by clients if I came in here and said, as a licensed advisor, yes, I think this is appropriate for your portfolio, and it's not that much of a risk, and the asset went down here, I could get sued very easily. And the worst part about investing is if you stand in front of a regulator, instantly, the regulator looks and says, broker, client, all right, Broker, give client money back. Here is a 50% penalty for wasting the court's time, and you are officially banned from the industry. Fuck you, get out of here. We don't want to see you for 10 years. Like that. I mean, I don't know how many of you actually watch this YouTube stream. I actually really understand how rigid the financial services industry is. I mean, customers always are right. Even if a customer made a stupid decision, if the licensed advisor deems it acceptable, they're on the hook. So, remember, I mean, I've been at this game for 30 years, right? I mean, this is my life. It actually is very hard to get me out of that mindset that I fully expect half of you people are going to try and sue me. Sucks. And in a weird sort of way, I'm actually setting myself up for disaster doing all these public videos and stuff like that without all the massive disclaimers. I remember through this period, there were some people that came on the site, bought our education program. I said, look it, this is really dangerous. You're probably walking into a trap, put your money away. They still went, they probably were long their Bitcoins. And of course, at this point, I can't call a top and I can't say this thing isn't going to go to 100 G's. I don't know. I mean, it's fucking... So what do you do? So when I look at an image like this, the number one thing I have to think about is which one of you guys are going to try and sue me? What is the information that's in your best interests? I can tell you, if I just, sit here, circle jerk, yeah, buy Bitcoin's going 100 G's, this is easy money, that's got lawsuit written all over it. And frankly speaking, it's not a very professional approach. So, it is what it is. Now, having said all that, why would I go down this road sort of setting you up all this? Well, you know what we said. W's are W's. If you're going to come in here, and I wouldn't, there's no fucking way I'm buying this here, but if you're going to come in here, got to be able to risk down to here. And what does this mean down the road? This funny little study you see, I've got this 0 line here and this 100 line here, and this is kind of a fun little concept. That actually, I think, I am actually one of these crazy guys that actually believes that if you give to the universe without asking for anything in return, the universe turns around and goes, well done, here's a gift. And it's usually a gift you never expect, you have no clue about, and it comes out of left field. So for some reason, the universe decided that I guess I had scored some good karma points, and they gave me this introduction to chaos level and chaos theory. And I've heard and I know about chaos theory a long time, but I've just never been able to learn it. Through the good graces of the universe, it's decided to teach me it. And I don't have it as an official module in the education program, but we have been working on the site with it quite a bit. And the interesting thing is this consolidation in here, you ready for it? It actually gives us an upside objective. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I did one of these studies off of, I think it was like this reversal here back in the spring. And people actually got very upset at me on social media going, don't get their hopes up. And, the market will never get back up there. And sure enough, bang, it got right up into there. I suppose you could probably do the same thing off of this bottom. So levels to shoot for. So really, I think this chaos theory, it needs a W to work with. And the way I interpret it is this, the market's heading down. And something happens here that sort of changes the energy of the market. And I think this point where the dead cat bounce ends and the bears step back in, to this point where the bulls actually stop this slide and step back in, This is the range that you have to concentrate on, where the bulls and the bears put up the fight. And in essence, this is like compressed energy. And whichever way, you don't know which way it's going to break, but whichever way it does break, that energy that was all stored up here, and you level 2ers. You just did point and figure charting. So I want you thinking about things like horizontal count. It's the same concept. And actually, Johnny Salmon did a cool site update down under report last week, and he was going on and on about how much he loved the point and figure charts for horizontal and vertical counts. But back to our conversation here. The point here are lots and lots and lots of energy built up, and there is the expression of that energy. Is it guaranteed? No, nothing's guaranteed in this life. But, if you're a trader and you're kind of like, well, and the mathematician who came up with this chaos concept is a gentleman by the name of Feigenbaum. We officially on the site, if you do want to make reference to him, you have to say it in a Nazi World War II SS officer's manner. Feigenbaum! But they always say, and actually it was kind of cool that actually I ran into this recently. I shared Top Step, my old prop firm that I worked with years and years ago. They had on one of their psychologists, Dr. Menaker, on. And he was saying the same thing. Saying it in a negative way, because unfortunately, of course, when people go to trading psychologists, it's because they're not winning, right? And what do I do to fix the problem? So he was looking at it from the other side, but I found that if you want to try and remember something, try and put lots of activity, mental images, outlandish images, action. So, when I do these kind of references, that's why I would have all these funny little names and acronyms and stuff, is I'm trying to help you remember this stuff, but not just textbook, 61.8 FIB, right? No, that's Mountain Man, right? So, anyway. So, the point here is Foggy here. I think it was a really, really special treat that the universe gave me to actually really understand this concept called chaos theory. So thank you, universe. I'm greatly appreciative. And what it really means is I got to keep doing these YouTube videos totally free. No fucking revenue bullshit, Google advertising, ramp bullshit, nonsense viewer subscribers. The people that want to learn, they come to this feed and they learn. Actually, I like I said, I had dinner with a gentleman last night from back east who was visiting. And he said, Brian, the reason why I actually signed up for your site and your school is because I went to your YouTube channel and there were so few viewers. And he said, this guy does like hour-long videos. He talks through everything and there's no viewers. So that must mean he's not in this to fucking shill and grind me for money. Which I thought was perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So anyway, okay, back to our story. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, and smash that like button. Thank you, Oscar. Oscar was giving me some shit though for what were you going on YouTube? He didn't like the way I spell bacon. What the fuck? Get off my back, Oscar. I'll spell bacon any way I want. Just kidding. Oh, God, get a damn dictionary. Okay, so are we ready? I keep teasing you guys. What is Feigenbaum suggesting here? Oh, here we go. Oh, Jesus, we got to keep going. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Should I just stop there? Should I end the video there? Let's go to the student questions. You know what? To hell with this. Drive you guys crazy. I even put a tweet out the other day, so anybody wants to know this number, fine. All right, so let's just do this quick. Where is this silly thing saying it wants to go? Jesus Christ. These numbers again. Oh, hello. $50,680 for one Bitcoin. Yeah, actually that's not out of the question. The only problem is, does it go there tomorrow? Keep in mind, this is like a weekly, maybe even like a monthly W. It's not going to go there tomorrow, folks. But what a juicy, awesome upside target. And believe it or not, actually, I think the market's actually telling us exactly when. My hunch is probably somewhere here. And we talked about this, right? Remember last Bitcoin? Well, actually not last, but the first one, right? And this is where I got interested in Bitcoin. Was 2012, 2013, the end of 2013. So, would it surprise us, considering how algorithmic this thing is and the very consistent nature of the happenings and stuff? 2023. Up into here. Seems realistic. That's basically that high. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking is happening here. And also too, you can see like big peak and then huge consolidation, then run. So big peak, huge consolidation. Should we not maybe even think that, okay, there's the peak, there's the breakout to the new bull market, rah, rah, rah. So it's probably got to be something in the similar duration. So that would be like, and then woohoo. And I like that. That actually makes a lot more sense to me than us thinking that this is the breakout here. I actually think what's going to happen here, and keep in mind, think about it, emotions, right? We got these Jupiter-Saturn cross. This is ridiculous. This happens like once every 40 years. And actually what I do find fascinating is, I was sitting there thinking back, Donald Trump's probably now going to spend the next month or two just exactly like Jimmy Carter did. Lame duck president. About a month or two of just malaise. Nothing's going to get done. And just like Jimmy Carter, and I remember watching the TV, I saw it every single day. The Iranian hostages were being paraded around. He was basically impotent. They call it lame duck. And there was nothing we could do. We just sat there for a couple months and just watched this soap opera. And then finally, when Reagan was brought in, it was just like, it was like a totally clean slate, new page, and everything just went apeshit. No, that's not true. Beg your pardon. Actually, I remember distinctly there was euphoria around Reagan coming into office. Actually, maybe we should even pull that chart up. And this is one of Brian's crazy tangents. Sorry, everybody. Let's go over here. So, same fear cycle. And you remember in 1980, of course, and actually, yeah, you guys in the level 1, you just did this. Tomorrow. Yeah, right. Remember we had said you guys in the level 1 just did this. This is why it's super dangerous never to use just one reason to justify taking a trade. Mr. Granville, Joe Granville, the developer of the OBV indicator, basically called the end to capitalism right in here. Ugh. Now, notice, and this is actually exactly what I think is going to happen. Actually, this is perfect. Because this is exactly what DJ Thistle said, too. So, I don't know whether you like following him. I really like his thinking. Totally. You know these DJs are fucking cool people. I've got one of the DJs here locally, Andrew. And, man, hanging out with these guys, Raph over in the UK. He's so fucking cool. But anyway, one guy, he's a Canadian guy, and he's a DJ, and he's been in crypto a long time. And I think he has his site up and running and stuff, and I'm, super proud of him. These guys are they're becoming adults. They're growing out their businesses. It's beautiful to watch. But they have a fractal tool. Here it is here, this DJ. Big Tech Wins, DJ Thistle. So this is what their study is suggesting. And notice, and actually, I don't know where they're expecting this thing to top out. I guess they're just expecting a continually grind higher. But I don't think so. And, if we go back to that Dow, going back to the 1980 pivot, I see just a ton of similarities in the market to now. The Jupiter-Saturn crossover here was here. Gold, of course, went insane. Then, election, Jimmy Carter, lame duck president. It's the stock market's getting well bid up now. Gee whiz, what a surprise. Looks somewhat similar to this. Then we have that sort of euphoria, and, maybe you call this the honeymoon period. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that expression before. My hunch is there's going to be a bit of a honeymoon period. Then the honeymoon period wears off and we get back to sort of business as usual. And my hunch is the Republicans in Congress will act as a check against a lot of Biden's sort of plans. And then, of course, too, we have those runoff elections in January. So I don't know. Who knows how this all plays out. But I do like this thinking. And this actually is where they said the official bull market for the 1980s started. So this is where Reagan, he was elected, honeymoon, then he went to war with the air traffic controllers. I don't know whether you guys remember that. The bond market rolled over, then the bond market started to firm up, and of course this, you can see, beautiful W, and we never look back. So this is kind of where I think we are right now. We had a big push up. All stock indexes, they're all pushing higher. We're probably, in that honeymoon window right now. The elections happened, but we're in that sort of lame duck period for the incumbent. Then Mr. New, and keep in mind, there's a lot of people in the GOP that are like, we're going to fight this tooth and nail. So I don't think the soap opera is done by a long shot yet, but Mr. Trump's got a real uphill battle here. I doubt he can win, but that's just my opinion. And then really what we want to see, and this is exactly the same as that Bitcoin kind of chart. If you really want to invest, you don't want to take no wooden nickels, right? You're here to make money from trading. You could go invest in Bitcoin. Great, awesome, just do it. Little old lady nanny nibbles, buy for your retirement account, whatever, that's fine. But if you're like, well, Brian, I don't want to sit on a 50% loss for 6 months, well, this is probably what you have to wait for in the market following this event. All right. Oh, boy, that was a mouthful. Actually, can you see the similarities? They look actually very similar. Now, here's the kick in the pants with all this. It's the first week of November right now. Actually, I guess we're the second week. Coming into the second week. When does this big honkin' Jupiter-Saturn cross event happen? Well, sadly, folks, it doesn't happen until way over here. And actually, we have the illness conjunct Jupiter-Earth, Pluto. Their final one of 2020 happens here. And by the way, I don't know whether you're noticing, but the sickness is just going absolutely haywire in the United States right now. So my hunch is that that's the apex of this most recent sickness event. And then, I wouldn't be surprised if gold, Bitcoin, stock market, and what's weird is you sort of look at all the risk on, risk off assets and all that kind of craziness. And everything's moving up together, which, is of course another sign of, hey, something's not right here. It's good to see the oil's calming down. But, it's tough to say whether that's natural growth rate or not kind of stuff. But just everything's like uppy. Fascinating to see bonds down and oil down. This market is so screwy right now. My hunch is the whole damn thing pivots around that December event. And I wouldn't be surprised, folks, if maybe over the next few weeks we actually hear that the election recounts and all that, it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So through this next couple week window, am I going to step in and say, this is the top or this is the bottom? It goes straight up or down from here. No fucking way. You don't know what the hell's going to happen here. This is like a once in a 40-year event. And, all the celestial crap, this is like a once in like a million year event window. So there's no way in hell I'm going to like come out and say, yes, straight up, straight down. But anyway, I mean, that you should expect that out of Brian anyway. For all the lower time frame traders, probably got like, hopefully you can see there's a nice M there. So counter trend rallies within this range, probably that 50% level is your bottom in the range. And we did this at length last week or a couple weeks ago. Remember we painted these 4-hour candle body lows for a trade location. Fuck me. I mean, that's crazy. And then there was also this one, 4-hour candle body lows for a trade location. Jesus, look at that level. Is it worth maybe if you want to buy Bitcoins to hunt 4-hour trade locations? Or excuse me, 4-hour candle body lows for trade locations? Not a bad idea. So really what that's saying is we got probably a trade level up in these areas. That's probably what that was right there. And of course, if we do, all you level oneers just did your fibs. So reload zones, what do you think the odds are? That was a reload short zone. I'd say probably pretty darn good. Actually, I must make that red. Survey says... Boom! Oh, look at that. So, I mean, you want to learn how to trade on the short term? I would strongly suggest you... I already got the line there. I would strongly suggest you familiarize yourself with reload zones and candle body highs and lows as trade location. And the great part about this is actually a trade that I did recently where I went in on the long side against original W. But you could basically say, well, there's my M. I want to get short off of that M level. Now I'm going to let the counter trend rally into that original market structure level. That's my trade location. So now I've got original market structure. I've got fibs, my favorite 78.6. I got candle body highs. I mean, you could have worked an order up there, but I don't think you would have gotten filled. And now actually, day trader swing, and probably not swing trade. This would be more like swing trade here. This would be like day trader. They're short now, and they're probably looking, like we just said there a moment ago, looking for a test at candle body lows or trade location somewhere down in there. If this is a bull, you just don't know as a trader. But, think about it this way. If I go and hit that level, I risk to new highs, and really I'm just going to play ping pong with this, and I'm going to go buy that level if it gets hit. Just range trader. Well, that's a 3.21 risk reward. Not bad. The key here to this game is don't get into the habit of saying that this will 100% stop here. You don't know that. Nobody does. What you're simply going to say is if, and let's do a YouTube survey, see if anybody's listening on YouTube, about how often do markets range percentage of the time. Anyone? Brian, can you bomb it to 50K by tomorrow? Hey, B2, B2, doopy-doo-doo, 2B and B new. Anyway, good job, Kevin. Good job, B2. Take the trade yourself. All right, there you go. Merry Christmas. So... the bottom line here is about 70 to 80% of the time. And if you think about it, right, you do like a time study. There's a huge sort of ranging market, and there's your trending market. It's a pretty small amount of the time. So, remember when we even said, well, what's this probably going to look like back and forth? So, the day traders, it's actually in their best interest 70, 80% of the time to go and hit that. So... should this pull back down into here? Well, probably 70, 80% of the time, it's probably going to hold those lows and turn back up. So, That's a question of whether you'd fancy yourself a day trader, a range trader or a trend trader. Some people like to trend trade. Some people like to range trade. Can't really, the irony of it all is I can't really tell you what type of trader you are. You just have to go through the process. And, some people absolutely love this is what's called fading rallies, where they sell into this counter trend rally. Some people absolutely love that kind of trading. Good old Mountain Man. You probably heard me talk about him lots. So, there is your Bitcoin market, if it's of any help. I don't know. Altcoin market's looking a little bit better, frankly, and we like to keep an eye on. What's all this? Let's get rid of all this stuff. We like to keep an eye on things like dominance and stuff to sort of give us an idea of what sort of who's driving the bus right now. So, remember, we already got some fundamental warnings that things are looking a little bit dangerous for the corn. Things like NVT. So, good old dominance. Probably, this is, now we can sort of start getting into the further sort of tiers of crypto. While we're sort of red boxing, and we have one site OG, Colin, who put this report together for his site, Hero, I think it is, a month or two ago. Frankly speaking, I think it's a pretty good roadmap. So while we're in this sort of Bitcoin rally phase for dominance, don't expect a hell of a lot out of your altcoins. It's not a bad idea to just throw that. BTC.D, it's pretty straightforward. And if you want to become like an altcoin, oh my God, here we go, face rip, probably best to wait for some sort of market structure top in this dominance. And then, party can start. So fascinating to see. We were at the bottom of the channel. We worked our way up into the top of the channel. Worked our way up into some foggy levels up here. And interesting, we did a channel off of these lows. I don't know how accurate that is, but you can see it was respected there, jumped up, pulled back, and now we're actually sort of pivoting off of the top of this channel. My hunch is that this whole sort of area in here is sort of support, right in there. And, as we said there a minute ago, if this really is a top, we should come up and then top, and then we're done, and then, all right, it's time to altcoin party again. So we're probably a little bit early there. And if anything, this also makes sense too. I would prefer, especially if we're thinking like we're in this, not this phase, but we're actually in this phase right here of the crypto rally, then I kind of like that. Bitcoin do its thing. You remember this was the November 2015 U.S. Marshal Office's auctioning of Bitcoins. Market had a hell of a face rip into that, but it was basically a buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't know if this was that move on Ethereum and this was the pullback sort of corresponding with this. I would have liked to have seen this a little deeper, but sure is looking awfully similar here, there's that sort of Biden election, then into January sort of top, and we sort of roll over against these recent highs. Consolidate a bit more, setting the base for the big 2023. Oh my God, everybody's going to get rich kind of stuff. So we're still pretty early in this altcoin rebound kind of thinking. And, you look at some of them, like there's the Ethereum chart. You can still see he's got a long, long way to go just to get back to respectability. It's got that W in there, so things are looking pretty positive. I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of have to bounce around in here for the next year or so. But, all I see is green lights here. I don't see any red lights. So, just what I said with regard to Bitcoin, same thing. I mean, you can come in here at $450 and buy, but you have to understand this thing could easily dip down into, say, 200 or so over the next year. And if you're okay with sitting on it, well, I didn't take too much risk. It was some little old lady, nanny nibble kind of trade. It's in my accounts, in my portfolio, and I'm hearing great things, and I'll be selling when we get up here. Okay. Short-term timing. Yeah, I'm a rocket trader. Right, gonna throw on 100x leverage here. Be careful. I can't say whether this is topped or whether we're going to crap out. You can see we're in red boxes. I think I'd even said recently that if I was thinking about buying some puts, it would be right here. So, gotta say, actually I had dinner with Andrew last night, like I said earlier. We're pretty close to thinking about buying some puts. The W's are starting to come in, but, they're just options. And of course, like we said, there's no guarantees in any of this stuff. So, but it is looking very tradey-ish here. So just be well aware. You can see where the reload zone is. It's still way down here. So, Litecoin, same sort of thing. Just a million miles to go if this guy ever gets his act together again. Just forever. And actually, Charlie was putting out tweets that he expects this thing to hit all-time highs next October. So get ready, folks. I mean, the good part about Litecoin, I think I've shown this image before. I mean, it's in that investing window. And, of course, nobody's interested, so it makes perfect sense. Where the hell is that church? Here we are. I mean, there's the Ethereum one, same thing. I mean, the Ethereum double bottom, it's there. Whether you took this trade or not, that's up to you and your plan. This trade does imply you have to risk all the way back down to the bottom here. Certainly not a 100x leverage kind of trade, but nanny nibbles, little old ladies, there's no reason why they can't be in there. But here's the Charlie Litecoin story. And I've shown this image a few times. I think it's pretty universal. You can all see the W's, right? This is a weekly price chart. So, what type of investor are you? This would be Charlie's next October. Oh, look at that. A foggy level all the way up there at almost $600. Interesting. That might be that same objective when Bitcoin hits that 50 grand. Yeah, in a year or two. That wouldn't surprise me. So, I mean, that's not a bearish looking chart, guys. I mean, everybody should look at that and understand. This chart's actually pointing up. It's not pointing down. But anyway, we'll see what happens. As you can see, I'm out there accumulating. I just want to own everything under the sun. Actually, the stuff that's got my attention right now, I think it's actually okay for us to, as technicians, to start coming in and taking a real good look at these DeFi names. I know that there's a gentleman, I often refer to him. I think he does excellent research. Chico Crypto, Tyler, I think his name is. He's been super bullish on things like this stake and the Unibright. He's been talking about that. He's also pretty jazzed about one other one named Energy Webs, and I get the impression that listening to his rants that quite a few of the higher ups in this world are jazzed about it too. But here, here's an excellent analogy of technicians. So, again, you can go and buy these any place you want, right? And especially if you are, dollar cost averaging, little old lady, nanny nibble, keep the bet small. You can go buy this anywhere. But, of course, we have quite a few active sort of traders, if you will. I want to make money from trading. And I had to, it was a horribly painful experience going through this. I even had people on the site actually saying, Brian, don't beat up DeFi. It's awesome. Quit dogging DeFi. But my simple message was, look, I can't chase this. And this is the same as what Bitcoin's doing right now. I'm not allowed to chase this. I just have to take my funny little reload zone tool and just keep dragging it up as we make higher highs. And then eventually, when this thing does top out, it'll start working its way back down into respectable levels. Don't quite have a W yet here. V bottom straight off the low, so I would expect at some point this low to be tested. But it doesn't have to be tomorrow. I mean, this thing might just go sideways and then work its way up to create a nice little inverted head and shoulders. Totally possible. But, you know, green boxes are green boxes are green boxes. Another one of his that he likes, this link. Again, don't chase. So we're starting to work our way down into levels. Interesting how he took out that low there. So still no W's here. Just got to be patient, guys. And slowly, wait for it, wait for it. One that's actually really interesting to me is this stake. Again, don't chase. Be patient. Down she comes. Even got little smatterings of W's in reload zones. I actually watched this, and I wasn't impressed with the indicators and the volume and stuff, so I didn't really do anything. But once I saw this dump down into here, I love 88.6 Kavarkinator's level. He's so cool, a trader. I don't really want to say this is the bottom, but I don't want this son of a bitch to go woohoo and leave me behind. So what am I doing? I thought I had it on here. Maybe it's this one. I might be left behind. I don't know. You know, Brian, I don't like to chase ever. So I pulled the chart up, started picking it apart, and started working some bids. So I'm going to try and sneak in off this candle body low down in here. They almost gave me a fill the other day, but the bastards left me behind. I had my order working right at this gap. You can see they brought the market right down, filled in these gaps, but still left me behind. Boo. Hiss, hiss, boo. Still think there's probably pretty good odds that we trade down here. It's a nice horizontal support and resistance level there. And like I said, we got a big old gap there. So, and it looks like there's a trend line off of the lows. So, I'm not going to be in a hurry. I'm not going to really panic here. I'm just going to work some bids. And frankly speaking, I think this thing could work lower into tax loss selling season, the end of the year. And really, this is where I really would like to buy in earnest off this original W. So, I'll let you guys know whether I get some fills. Probably me barking about this publicly means that I probably won't get any fills anytime soon. That's the way it goes. But that's a name that really has my attention in here. And if anything, what a beautiful analogy. Listen to all the people talking in social media and stuff, and, you know, go in the chat rooms. They got so many cool little crypto communities all out there. Try not to get sucked into the FOMO. Throw on the reload zone tool. As soon as you hit reload zone tools, all right, well, I can start going and accumulating now. And if the story is as half as good as it was when they were all fucking jazzed up here, it'll work its way back up. And hopefully you can get some doubles off, right? On this kind of situation, ironically enough, all I need, if I can get these fills, who knows if I can or not, but all I need is a revisit of sort of like this $17 to $20 area. And I can establish a free position on this. I love free positions. They make my life so much easy. So you can see this Unibright sure looks interesting. I don't think on a higher time frame I like that level though. So I'm still a little bit skittish about that. All right. So and crypto as well. Sjord, our CTO, and I even put out a tweet to this effect. Again, for actually, how do we say this? I will never bill myself as a crypto expert. I don't know. I mean, I have a hard enough time. I think I have the lingo down. I think I understand the basics, but I'm never a crypto expert. A gentleman who came to TRI, took the course. Turns out he liked me so much, we became business partners. He's our chief technology officer at TRI, Sjord. New dad, so way to go, Sjord, on that note. He's super jazzed about the fundamentals of this story. And it's the same sort of thing. He was super jazzed up here, and I was like, okay, well, let's just be patient. Let's draw our reload zones, blah, 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 blah. And I suppose you could go something like this. And just wait for the reload zones. Oops. I gotta have them drawn the right way. Boom. There we go. And look at this. Fucking, excuse my French. Beautiful W right off 88.6 there. That's a damn good looking story there. And the funny thing is, right, at 460, I guess that means I need a rally up into 9 and change to get a double. It might be tough to get that off here. But definitely foggy here. It's probably a good little 50% return on that trade alone. So those are the kind of things that I'm super jazzed about. The public really isn't that interested in this. Could we have to swim down here and play with these lows a bit? Maybe. Might take a couple shots. Sjord, we put, because he likes the fundamentals so much, we just put Sjord on a dollar cost averaging plan on this thing. And I'm more than happy just to slowly nibble away. I don't even care what the price is. He likes the fundamentals so much. But gee whiz, now we got W's working. I actually told him, look, you want to strap on a little extra here? Juice things up. If this W happens to work, I'm totally down with that. And I think he did. So good looking little names here, I tell you. This is a... Yeah, well, you guys have heard the rant from me before, so I don't need to do all that. Okay, the only thing left I want to do here today, just talk a little bit to the current level oneers about any questions they might have with current course material. I think they were working on volume, if I'm not mistaken, over here. So, let's see what we got here. Today is the 8th. Sound about right? 8th. Yeah, okay. So Martin A asks, the volume indicator in TradingView has a setting color based on previous close. I remember Brian talking about it in the daily brief, saying that we should enable this setting. It changes the color of the volume bar to green instead of red when the close of the price is above the close of the previous candle, even if the current price candle is a red one. Example here. Yep. Could you explain a bit more about this? Okay. It's not really too difficult. The problem here is, where's the best place to do this? Geez, some warrants sure look sexy here. Sexy, sexy. Alright, let's get rid of all this stuff. Alright. So, first and foremost, these candles, by default, candlesticks will color the candle based on its open and close. So, as your example showed, what the hell to do with it? Here. This candle's painted red because it opened all the way up here and it closed there. So this is the previous candle. Because candlesticks paints this candle red, by default, TradingView loads up the volume and sets the volume bars based on the candle color. And to be perfectly fair, you know, there's people that use indicators like accumulation distribution. And a candle that opens up right up at the top of the candle and closes down, that's a distribution candle. But I don't interpret it that way, and that's not the interpretation that I'm teaching you in this course. What I'm trying to teach you in this course, and it might even be better to help you, is to just simply change this to like a line chart. So this is Under Armour. UAA. So, yes, there's your big red candle. And like I said, if we have it as the default settings on TradingView, it'll paint that as a red candle. But you notice that the OBV indicator actually ticked up. Well, why? The answer, of course, is, like I said, if we change this to a line chart, you don't see any of that candle red color. All you actually see is there's the close of that bar, there's the close of that bar. It was an up bar. So OBV, remember the formula just simply is the bar up or is the bar down relative to the previous candle? Right, the close. It's the only thing that matters to OBV. As I said there a moment ago, you want to study things like accumulation distribution. I think money flow index is RSI off of the accumulation distribution, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember. It's not going to interpret it the same way, but this is the way that I interpret volume impetus. Is I want the candle bars to be telling me the same thing that on balance volume is telling me, i.e., is money flowing into this asset or is money flowing out of the asset? That's the purpose of this study. So for me, money is flowing in. And, I think that's basically an accurate tell there. I don't know whether that helps. I hope it does. You can always do a follow-up question. I think I just have to leave it at that. I mean, the most important thing here, remember, what you guys are actually coming to TRI is you're coming to learn how Brian sort of learned his technical analysis over the past 30 years. Is it open to interpretation? Yeah. Is there... Oh, good. All right. Martin said he's understanding. Hey, there you go. Excellent. Well, look at that. So Sunspun already paying extra dividends there. What do you think, Sunspun? Should I keep on doing this free karma shit to the universe? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think you've been helped by this? And that's the whole point of me doing this. So I'm trying to help you guys. Well, it sounds twisted, but it's the truth. So. All right. So hopefully we answered that question. Martin says he feels pretty good. I mean, again, look at these W's, eh? You get W's and OBVs. Oh, boy. Look out. W's. Right? And look at the volume impetus. Higher green candles. Higher green candles. Who's in control of the bus here? Martin, can you see that? Can you see a higher, 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 higher? All right, and then the bears kind of went, ooh, okay, and then the bull said, fuck you, higher, more! I said this line the other day, and somebody got a chuckle on it on YouTube. Mortgage my firstborn son. Did I say mortgage or sell? I want in! That's volume impetus, if you've ever seen it. Great example of that. Beautiful. Higher highs and higher lows defines a bull market. Indicator healthily bullish. No signs of failure here whatsoever. And gee whiz, what's price doing? Moving on up. Yes, I definitely have. Okay, cool. Awesome. What's Carlos saying here? You should do all BS hungover, Brian. Okay. No thanks. Mind you, I will tell you, I was treated so specially by the universe yesterday. I got treated right, left, and center. So thank you, Ilian. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, TRI. Thank you, Graham and Sharktoshi and Kevin, so that when I woke up this morning feeling like shit, I could just look in the level 1 group and see everybody just humming along. Happy birthday, Sharky, by the way. And I think Julian's birthday's somewhere in here too. I hope I didn't miss it. But Anyway, so thank you so much, community, for letting me have a karmic moment. Andrew and I were stumbling around downtown Vancouver. We lost his car. Dude, where's my car? It was so funny, so cliche. Anyway, super fun. All right. Didn't see any other questions. So, I don't know. Not too much of a rant here today. Is there anything anybody wants me to look at in particular? You want my 2 cents? I suppose we got a couple minutes here. How are we doing here? Yeah, there's a few people watching this video. What are we supposed to do? Hit the like button if you like what you're seeing. Might help. Subscribe if you want to get notified next time we have one of these free videos out. You know, somebody we haven't seen on the site in a bit is Colleen. Where's Colleen? I hope she's doing okay. Oh, Cheryl, your note on YouTube there. God, you made me cry. That's beautiful. There's a great example where I didn't really have that good of a relationship with my mother. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. So when she said that, I think that's you. Was that you, Cheryl? Maybe it was somebody else. Said, listening to Brian actually could get all choked up. Could actually bring a mother and a son together. I mean, I never had that with my mother. My mother was cold as fucking ice. And just reading that, I was just like, oh, yes, yes, yes. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Yeah, I mean, he might, like, next week, he may like, oh, fucking, I'm on to skateboards, Mom, sorry. But just the ability for you guys to just have that moment where you can make that connection. I never had that with my mother. And it always makes me so sad. So, Cheryl, like that right there, that's my job. Exactly what happened right there. That's exactly why I do this. It's beautiful. Hey, Brian from LA. Hey. Crypto Dark Pool. Oh, there's a fun name. Is that? Oh, that looks like my buddy. Oh God, I interact with so many of you guys. I recognize that avatar. I thought you moved down to South America. You're back in LA now. I think the last time I saw you was when we were in LA. Eh? At that fun little guy's little crypto cafe thing down in Long Beach. I think that was you, right? No, just hiding my oh, you're cheeky. Yeah, I know you. Hey, you're probably all over those anonymous coins, eh? Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, if you want your location anonymous, then I won't say names. I'm not gonna name names. Oh, it's so great to see all you people popping in. It's just awesome when we get those OGs that just pop in and say, "Hey, Brian." I mean, you tell me, did I make a positive difference in your life? That's the whole damn point of this. I think I did. It was a lot of fun, and you should go check in with that guy who was running that shop down there. See if he's still in business. Anyway, okay. Somebody asked me to look at something. What do you want to look at here? Bitcoin goes down. Does it help alts US dollar or hurt alts US dollar? I think probably the best environment for alts is if Bitcoin is just going sideways. So ideally, oh wow, they opened up an exchange. Well, that's kind of cool. So if you have like Bitcoin fall out of bed here and it just face rips down, then I don't know. I don't think that's going to be healthy for alts. What we want to see is the market just stabilize. We'd like to see the higher ups go, okay, this is a new level for Bitcoin. Let's go and now revalue all the ancillaries, right? And literally revaluing the entire space. Bitcoin kind of goes quiet. It's in a nice healthy range. And that's the perfect environment for altcoins. So, kind of like what we said there with the dominance. I wouldn't be in a big hurry right now to call bottoms here. This is very volatile. And it will probably take, like how long did this take? This is a daily chart, so that's the 6th of May. And Bitcoin finally broke down 20th of May. So that's like about 2 or 3 weeks. And I kind of like that, right? 2 or 3 weeks takes us into sort of the, into that early December window. We find out about, Mr. Trump's appeals and all that. There's going to be some skittishness here in the market. Do we have an ETA on ETH mainnet launch? Does anybody have a date that maybe we could use that as a catalyst? That might be something that gets the altcoins to wake up a bit. Does that make sense? Anyone? Farmer Dave was posting videos of what it's like being a farmer in DeFi. And really, I told you this before. It's basically the same thing. I don't know whether it's such a good idea to come in and mine Bitcoins. You might as well fucking go and mine. Well, actually, maybe it is good to go mine Bitcoins. Huge profit margins right now. But I love the idea of, if I didn't show you guys, this was my fun crew last night. the trio, we went and got into trouble all over downtown Vancouver last night. God bless Ilian. There's Andrew, the OG. He's so cool. And the old man. Oh, poor hairline. It's going. It looks like Brian's face is a little dirty. Somebody clean your face, please. Alright, now I'm just babbling. Sorry, everybody. I'm supposed to be giving you value here, not just wasting your time. Okay. So, I think you gotta give this some more time to just let it breathe, okay? Whoa, interesting. Peter says, wow, this is fascinating. Listen to this. Peter says, somebody asked, any advice from the veterans in here you can give to us level 1 guys? That was from JMO from J side. And Peter responded here. Interesting answer. He says, just keep on doing what you are being taught. Yeah, and if you're in the level 1 program, you're still learning what price momentum setups actually look like. So you still got a huge learning cliff here to get through. Then, of course, you're supposed to be doing 100 paper trades. So you got to get good at taking these setups. And then you can actually start going and risking some money in the market. But Peter says here, just keep on doing what you are being taught. Yeah, I think that's basically on balance. Good idea. This needs time. Absolutely. You're not going to be an expert at this in 90 days. That's impossible. You got to put some miles in. This needs time, but you will succeed if you keep learning. Yep, it's just practice makes perfect. In the long run, it's hard to not succeed if you follow Brian's advice. In the long run, it's hard to not succeed if you follow Brian's advice. Okay. I think that's an endorsement. Thanks, man. Oh, ETH is December 1st, 2020? All right, good. Stop! Say nice things about yourself. It matters. You're right, Felipe. Felipe, you have such a beautiful karma about you. I'm glad to have you in my life, dude. You're right. I'm good enough. I'm strong enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Well, some people. Just kidding. All right. I like the idea of just letting the market breathe here a little bit, guys. We have just this massive, ugly celestial events. Man, I've been going on about this the whole damn year, right? Well, why don't we just let this pass? You know? No reason you can't be hunting good fundamental ideas. Build your shopping list. Then, just exactly like we saw with this crazy DeFi space. You build your shopping list. And then when this stuff all starts calming down and the public isn't really that interested anymore, that's when you start going and accumulating. So that's really the way I would prefer to approach this market right now. And I might suggest to do the same. So, okay, I think I'm done my rant. Sure hope you guys all enjoyed that. Way to go, level oneers. Slow and steady wins the race. Great karma from locals here overnight. I know somebody asked me to look at something else. Oh, no. Yeah, okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, guys. So, yeah, there you go. So, ETH 2.0 scheduled for December. Sounds to me like they're getting ready to rock and roll. So, probably around that catalyst is probably what's probably going to turn the altcoins back up. Something like that. So, okay, I think the only thing left for me to say is, I'm awesome! Thank you, Felipe, for reminding me. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. Play from a position of strength. Don't take no wooden nickels. Wish me luck with Liam. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Ring Colleen's bell. Colleen, I miss you. Hope you're doing okay out there, dear. All the best. And bye for now.